So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, before we start the show, before we start the podcast, I do have to first of all, guys, apologize. Not only because we're late, but also, guys, I would like to apologize for Dave's background. I'm sorry that you guys have to, I'm sorry that I have to subject you guys to seeing that absolute, I mean, listen, man, that view looks absolutely dreadful, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. But,
Beautiful. Beautiful
uh,
view. Beautiful.
but listen, guys, big up to every single one of you guys. As always, guys, big up to every single one of you guys. Welcome, guys, to yet another episode of Barca to Madrid podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, there's going to be a lot to talk about, man, because even though the season has officially ended, some people are happy, some of us are sad because, it's been a great domestic season. But listen, the drama doesn't end. There is still a lot to talk about when it comes to these two great clubs, man. Especially Real Madrid. Real Madrid are the gift that keeps on giving, man. Like, there is never enough content when it comes to Real Madrid. And we're going to get into all of it, man. But listen, before we get started, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And obviously, guys, you guys know my co-host for the Madrid to Barca podcast, man, like Dave Talks Madrid in the building. Dave, Rowski,
Yeah.
how are you, man? Enjoying that Spanish sun?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, as per usual. As you know, we're outside the most prolific stadium in the world. So this is obviously going to be the time for me to gloat, even though we can. As some aspects of our business and Real Madrid, what we do on a year-by-year basis. Obviously, Barcelona won, as we know, and this is obviously leading on to my live stream later and why I'm worried about next season. But I'm sure we have a lot to talk about outside the Bernabeu, what's happening right now with the elections and everything. And obviously the national team being called up and no singular Spanish player is being selected. So I'm very happy about all this. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about.
Of course, man, of course. Listen, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And yeah, listen, let's get straight into it, man. Let's not even waste any time, guys. Look, Dave, I
Yo.
mean, I have never seen it in my lifetime. I never thought I would see it. But it's actually happened. It's actually happened. I cannot believe when I saw the Spanish squad and I saw the squad.
Amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing, mate.
Dude, no.
Amazing, mate. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so happy. De La Fuente, he done us all a favour in not selecting one singular Real Madrid player for the Spanish squad. I'm so excited that we don't have bozos out there playing for this Spanish national side in a World Cup, the biggest World Cup that we've ever seen. More teams than ever before, more matches than ever before. And this is what I was talking about. This is the kind of thing that we need to have a manager that's going to make the hard decisions. And he has made the hard decisions. Guys, he's made the hard decision to drop a lot of our players because, let's call it as is, Carreras, how is he? Shit. Dean Howson, how is he? Trash. Carvajal can't stay fit to save his life. Thank you for all the memories, but you can't stay fit, bro. Yeah? Gonzalo Garcia, nowhere near a lot of the prolific strikers that we've been sending to, obviously, the World Cup. Even Borja Iglesias is better than Gonzalo Garcia. Let's call it the rest of the players as well. Fran Garcia, trash, mate, as well. Like, do I need to put a number on it? Do I need to put on how many players in our Real Madrid squad who are Spanish? All trash. Thiago, trash. Sestero, trash. All the young guns from Castilla, trash. So, well, I'm happy, mate. I'm happy De La Fuente selected no singular Spanish player from Real Madrid. It's the most exciting news I've heard all flipping season. And that he selected 8 players from Barcelona is also the most exciting news because they won La Liga, they did their duties, they know how to play De La Fuente's football. When we're talking about players in the Spanish national squad that know how to play exciting, fast, attractive football with good transition, good pace up the pitch in terms of the pass and move, you don't look to Real Madrid. You look to Barcelona. You look to other teams in Spain. You don't look to the most laziest, the most unwork ethic, the most shambolic, the most horrendous football you've ever seen from a Spanish side in donkey's years in Real Madrid. We play the worst football. We play the slowest, most lethargic football. We don't even know which way we're turning to. We cannot even work as a team. So, what's the point of even sending any Spanish player? De La Fuente looked at us and said, these guys are absolute bozos. And absolutely amazing that Gonzalo Garcia, the likes of Fran Garcia, the likes of Carreras, the likes of Dean Housen, the likes of all these bozo Spanish players that we have in our team are not going to the World Cup. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Sir De La Fuente, for not taking any singular player from this Real Madrid stinkfest of a team. Thank you very much.
I mean, look, I can't.
They're all trash, Omar. They're all trash.
Look, man. Okay, so let me give you my honest opinion. Right?
I can't explain Gavi. I can't
That's
explain
what I'm
Gavi,
saying. Like,
and I can't explain Gerard Martin not going. But I tell you what I can do is I can literally say that Real Madrid frauds, all of them, complete and utter fraudes, mate.
Look, I'll tell you this right now, man. You know what's funny? I actually told people this was going to happen, Dave. When Gavi returned from his injury, I told everyone my guy was returning back straight to the squad. I said, dude, remember this guy suffered his theater that basically took him out for most of the last season and this season, right? Was because of an injury he suffered international duty. De La Fuente has always loved Gavi, dude. He's always loved having Gavi in his squad, bro. Before I would say last year season, remember, there was a time he was playing more for the Spanish national team than he played for Barcelona. And I was telling people, I was like, guys, if he is fit for the World Cup, he's getting on that plane, even though I don't think he deserves to be in the plane this season, right? Like you mentioned, he's not 100%. He's barely even started this season for Barcelona. He's better, I think 4 or 5 games this season, right? And that was just recent, right? But I told people, I said, guys, the moment he starts playing 90 minutes, De La Fuente is putting it in his squad. Like, mark it. And no surprise, guys, he's in the squad. I am not surprised at all that he was called up. But look, I'm gonna be very honest, man. The fact that there's no Madrid players in this team is crazy to me because that's never happened. That's never happened in the entire Spanish World Cup history,
yeah,
man. Like,
true.
You at least had at least one in the team. Right? Like, I feel you've been supporting Madrid for a long time.
We do have, mate, Victor Munoz, bruv.
Yeah, technically he's a Madrid player. I guess. I mean, listen, if you claim him, it is what it is. But I'll tell you this right now, right? When I looked at this squad, right, I think, okay, I'm gonna be very honest. Defensively, I'm very surprised that a guy like Dean Housen didn't get in the squad. I'll tell you why. Because I don't think he's a great player. Don't get it twisted, right? I think that there's some defenders right now that are better in the squad. But when you look at stylistically how De La Fuente likes his defenders to kind of be, good on the ball and all that, right? I think Dean Housen would be one of those players I would say you would have wanted. I'm not surprised that he didn't make the bench for this team. But it's quite interesting. I mean, Carvajal, I do hear it. Because Carvajal, let's be real, right? This season he's had injury issues, right? He hasn't really played that much, right? But it's very interesting because many people might be like, well, he is one of the leaders. He's a veteran. He's one of the older guys, experienced players in this national team, right? You might have just brought him in for the experience. I do understand that too. Carreras, I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised by that. I thought he was one of those players that would have made the World Cup.
Trash, mate.
Even though
Trash.
I think his performances dropped off, and I think that drop off.
Trash, mate. Compared to Grimaldo and compared to Cucurella, he's nothing. What's the point of taking him? Grimaldo and Cucurella are better than him. On the right-hand side,
Cucurella, have you seen him this season for Chelsea?
Cucurella is better than him. Trust me on this one, yeah. Pubil, yeah. Marcos Llorente, no question, shout out of a doubt. Even Pedro Porro, yeah, is better than an unfit Carvajal.
Dude, Pedro Porro made this squad, bro.
Yeah.
Over Carvajal. Oh my God. Dude, this guy was challenging for relegation, Dave.
He's not fit, Carvajal.
I mean, okay. I mean, if that's the case, then I get it. Because he's not been fit. Okay.
He can get injured next game. Like, what's the point of taking a player that could potentially get injured? You need fit and healthy players. Why take Carvajal? Why?
I get. I mean, the midfield I do understand, like, because you guys really don't have any Spanish players at all. Right? I think Barcelona will be dominating that department. In the attack, I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised that Gonzalo Garcia didn't even make this squad. Yeah. I told you, you know what it is, right? I think Gonzalo Garcia is one of those guys who, I don't know, Dave. I feel like eventually he might need to make a decision on his future, especially if, Hendrick returns, right? Because I think that Gonzalo Garcia, if he goes to a club where he's given an opportunity to play regularly, I think he can make a shout to be Spain's number 9. Because Spain don't really have like good number 9s, right? I mean, for God's sake, guys, Ferran Torres starts every week for them. You know he's gonna start in the World Cup. This guy barely even starts for my country. And it tells you a lot, right? The quality when it comes to strikers for the national team is not really that good. But the fact that he's not really that good and they still didn't call him Gonzalo Garcia is interesting to me. But I'll be honest with you, I'm very interested to see how this World Cup. I mean, listen, I'm definitely keeping my eye on it because I do want Spain to win the World Cup, to be honest, right? So
it's basically Barcelona's team, bro.
Obviously.
It's basically Barcelona mixed with a bit of Bilbao here and there, mixed with some Atletico Madrid, and that's it. That's what Spain's team is. It's Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Bilbao. That's what the team is. So, and obviously Rodri for Man City. That's it. Simple. What can we say? And obviously Fabian Ruiz for PSG.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. We've got one of the best midfields. We've got one of the best midfields in the world.
I'm not gonna lie, to be honest. I think that the squad he actually picked was actually pretty good. Even though I was surprised there was no Madrid players in the squad. Guys like Victor Munoz making the squad was surprising to me. He brought Borja Iglesias, which I think was a good call-up, because you know what it is. Those are the kind of call-ups that kind of goes over everyone's head because they're like, wait, he's supposed to Celta Vigo. But people don't realize he's like a traditional number 9, which is
Borja Iglesias is absolutely.
Exactly. So I'm like, you know what it is? It's a smart call-up because if they're playing games where, let's say, Ferran Torres is going missing, which he has this tendency of doing, you could always lump the ball to Borja Iglesias, and we know he's very, very he has a good touch for a striker, right? His touch is pretty good, right? He can handle himself. He's not the striker that can be bullied easily. You understand what I mean, right?
Played well against Barcelona, first game at home. Very well against Barcelona.
That's what I'm saying, right? He's a bully when it comes to strikers, right? And if you're dealing with certain defense, like when you're dealing with like Uruguay's defense, when you have like Jimenez and Araujo, who are very physical defenders, in that kind of game, you're gonna need a Borja Iglesias to play in the number 9. You understand what I mean, right? Be that bully in that attack, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we need that players like that. We definitely need players like that. I don't know. I don't know where Omar's gone. His internet's probably bugged out. But as you can see, guys, we're outside the Bernabeu, as per usual. Sipping on these beers, mate. Sipping on Real Madrid tears, mate, as per usual. The reason I'm sipping on Real Madrid tears is because of the selection process. So it's unbelievable that obviously Real Madrid players are not being selected, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it, guys. Yeah, I'm all for it because Spain need actually good players to play this World Cup. We need actually good players to play this World Cup. So I'm here for it. I'm here for De La Fuente. I'm here for what he wants to do with the team. And you need players also stylistically that can play De La Fuente's game. No Real Madrid player can play De La Fuente's game. High press, possession base, very quick transition. They can't play De La Fuente's game. I'm sorry, none of them can. Real Madrid's football is based now around building the ball into no man's land, passing it into no man's land, just scumbagging your way to victories. That's what Real Madrid are. Scumbag our way to victories. That's it, simple. So what can we say?
Look, it's a very brave call, brave squad. And look, to the point, I think that if there's one thing he's proven, at the end of the day, he won the Euros, right? He built a squad. He brought the squad that he brought in the Euros. A lot of people were looking at that squad thinking that squad can do it, and then that team with everybody, right, to win it. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. I think he's picked a very good squad, and I'm excited. I do hope that they do go on to do it in the World Cup, 100%, man. But guys, in the comment section, let us know, guys, what you guys think about the Spain squad not having any Madrid players. And it's crazy because I think only 7 out of a potential 29 players were called up for their countries in the World Cup. That is crazy, right? Guys like Trent also missed out on the World Cup. Like that is insane. Like I'm not gonna lie. I mean, your
Reece
English
James is better. Reece James is
I'm not
better.
gonna. I mean, look. Can I just say this right nowadays, right? Because you obviously you do for Spain, but obviously you also English. But when you look at the England squad too, I'm not gonna lie, man. That England squad looks. That England squad looks mad, man. Like guys like Lewis Hall missed out in the squad, right? He
Yeah,
called up
that's
guys
true.
like I mean, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, all these guys missed out. Brought Rashford back into the squad, right? Maguire is out of the squad too, which is insane because he actually had a good end of the season. It's not like he was poor; he was actually pretty good, right? I mean, for all the years that he was criticized for being in the squad, the fact that he missed out when he was actually doing well is crazy for me. But I'm not gonna lie, I am very interested to see.
Trent doesn't deserve to be in the England squad. He hasn't played enough games. Reece James is much better than Trent Alexander-Arnold as a right back. We know that already. So there's a no-brainer that Trent wasn't selected. Like, we need an actual proper right back in there, and Reece James is the guy. Absolutely. You know?
Interesting. I mean, look. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not surprised he didn't make the squad because remember he didn't even get called up in their last friend, and that's why people were starting to wonder if he would even be in the World Cup squad because he wasn't even called up, right? But we will see, man. I mean, excited to see the Spanish squad. Guys like Victor Munoz, I would like to see more from them.
Jeremy Pino's selected. Very good.
I'm-
I like Jeremy Pino. He's very good for Crystal Palace.
Jeremy Pino, yes, he's a very good winger, very underrated.
Yeah,
winger. And
yeah,
also,
very underrated.
I am really heartbroken because Fermin Lopez missed out on the squad because Fermin played so well.
Yeah, but
this season.
but the injury, man.
I know,
Injury,
right?
bro.
I'm like that's a big loss for Spain because
Absolutely.
he was so good at the end of the season.
He's going to be one of them. He was one of my standard out candidates for being one of the best players at this World Cup, but the injury killed him, man. Look, Isco. Danny Olmo. Sorry, my bad, Isco. Isco could have made it if apart from any Real Madrid player, to be honest, mate. Yeah. Danny Olmo, great player for Spain. Can easily play false nine as well for Spain. He's done it in the past.
Yes.
So I could definitely see him introduce that as well. Obviously, Nico Williams is it's a bit of a weird one. That's definitely a weird one. But if De La Fuente trusts him, then fine.
I'm sorry to say this. I know people are going to overlook it, but I think Ansu Fati should have been in the squad. I mean, De La Fuente for the squad that he picked, right? Because he was picking players based on their form and their performances. I think that's why I allowed him to play in the squad, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Out of all the Spanish attackers, Ansu Fati has potentially had the best second half of the season. Like the way he was playing, I mean, I think he was in the list of players that could have been in the World Cup. I'm surprised because I was like, maybe because De La Fuente didn't call him up during the qualifiers and he hasn't played for a long time, and maybe that's why maybe he kind of looked at it and thought maybe if Ansu came in, it was going to take a while before he's kind of integrated into the squad and all this. So maybe that's why he didn't call him up. But at the end of the day, I hope that Ansu has a great future because he still got time. He still has time to make the next World Cup, which is going to be in Spain, right? So it's going to be interesting, man. I'm very, very much interested to see how this World Cup goes for Spain with the squad. Man. I'm very excited. But Dave, let's actually talk about something before we get to the Barca news, right? There's something that's been going on. This kind of flew over my head. Maybe it's because I've been busy. I've not really had a lot of time to look at the news, but basically, there's an election happening in a few weeks.
Yeah,
The
27th. My birthday. My birthday.
Dude, I'm just like, wait a minute. You're telling me what in 2 weeks? 2 weeks. There's a Madrid election in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the candidates are Enrique Riquelme and Florentino Perez. And Enrique Riquelme actually came out and he was going in. He said a lot of interesting stuff, right? He was talking about, the players that he wants to bring in, and he's been talking about the structure of the club and, where the club is right now and where he feels like, the club needs to go in a different direction, which I saw your video. You were talking about it. You were kind of agreeing with this point, which a lot of Madrid fans do agree with you. They feel like maybe, it's time for the club to go through a different,
A change, yeah.
A change because this has been the same structure for a long time. What is your opinion, man? Because I feel like maybe you are, obviously you are pro Enrique. You want Enrique to come in. What did you take from the interview? Were you kind of excited with some of the things he said? Was he saying the right stuff to you?
It's just to It's just to get any positive change whatsoever. And I'm explaining it later after this stream, obviously, on my Live at the Bernabeu stream,
Yes.
is why I'm worried for Real Madrid next season. Because if Florentino Perez, let's say he gets back into the presidency, which he probably will, and a lot of socios probably still have faith in him, he's basically throwing different smoke screens around the place to disguise the fact that the last 2 years have been ultra shit. Yeah? And a lot of the problems are down to him. Because he didn't recruit in the right places. He decided to bring a striker in Mbappe that we didn't need at the moment. We needed other players that we wanted to bring in, that should have brought in, that were completely needed at that specific time and point. When Kroos left, we needed it. When Modric left, we needed it. We needed someone to replace those players. Yeah? We didn't need a striker. Because Bellingham done an exceptional job in the 10 slash shadow striker with Rodrigo and with Vinny. He done an exceptional job, yeah, and it was a great season, double Champions League, La Liga. So, come now, we look at Real Madrid, and we're saying, is Florentino Perez really going to recruit in the right areas? If he doesn't, that's where I'm worried. Because if he tries to do the Galacticos thing and start signing big players or so, or even sign no players that are of any significance to Real Madrid, look at last year's summer window. We signed a trash left back, a trash centre back. We signed a right back in Trent Alexander-Arnold that got injured very, very quickly and was out for lengthy spells. Yeah? And we signed a right winger /10 or whatever in Franco Mastantuono that is godforsakenly shit. So did he...
A lot of money, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm saying his footballing brain to sign all those players is not right. I'm sorry. He doesn't know which players to sign. He has his advisors on which players to sign. Mourinho may come in and ask him which players to sign. Fine. But let's be honest in this one. Does he really know himself? Does he really know? Because the whole talk about Rodri, the whole talk about other players, look, the whole thing that we could have bought in Angelo Stillo was hot news. And we didn't. Because Perez bloody thought probably his nose, he was too ugly to play for Real Madrid or something. This guy. He wasn't
like
the image
Ronaldinho,
material.
yeah?
Yeah, he wasn't the image material for Real Madrid. That's probably what Perez thought. I'm sorry. Yeah, Angelo Stiller was the hottest topic prospect for Real Madrid to sign. Kroos said Real Madrid should sign Angelo Stiller, and Perez didn't even listen to any of it. I'm sorry. This guy has no footballing brain at all. He's plain dead idiot when it comes to footballing things. When we're talking about managers in the past that recruited, that wanted players to come in and settle in, fine. Yeah, you had Mourinho, who was kind of the instigator behind Modric coming in. Yeah, very, very big part of it. And Modric became one of our best players of all time in the history of Real Madrid.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. When you're talking about these players that came into the club, they are simply not good enough. Dean House is not good enough. Carrera's not good enough. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm sorry, you literally got Trent Alexander-Arnold at the end of his career. Yeah, he's going to be at his end of his career. Very soon. Wow. I don't care, mate. He's at his end of his career. He's at his end, mate. He doesn't look as fluid as he did a couple of years ago. There's something fishy about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Defensively, he's not good enough. And then we have all the problems internally within the locker room when Perez never addressed it. This guy takes no accountability at all. He takes no accountability at all for his issues. No accountability. You know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that is definitely a good point, right? I mean, listen, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be keeping my eye. Make sure you guys, we're going to redirect to Dave's stream, guys, where he's going to go in depth, right, talking about this whole situation. So make sure you guys go check it out. But look, from a Barca's perspective, I would rather you guys keep Perez, because I'll be honest, right? I feel like Perez at this point in his career at Real Madrid now, he's just sounding delusional. Like he's just sounding like he sounds so out of touch. You know what I'm saying, right? You know, sometimes when
he is.
People, that's what I'm saying, right? Like you saw even with guys like Wenger and all these guys, when they got to a point where things that were working in the past weren't working anymore. They just started sounding out of touch. They started talking about like the past, and they was talking about this, and they refused to adapt, right? And I feel like for people like you kind of understand. Listen, there's an error. Every manager, every president, everyone goes through this. Even guys like Laporta, don't get it twisted, right? If you look at Laporta's first reign, he left. If Laporta stayed any longer, he might have ruined his legacy. We don't know because people forget. Around the tail end of Laporta's time in 2010, a lot of people were beginning to turn on Laporta. He left at the right time when people were beginning to turn, so people forgot. People remember the good years. Sometimes that's what you got to do, man, because when you stick around long enough to tarnish what good you made. And the thing with Florentino Perez is this dude refuses to change. And he's sitting there making excuses. When you're sitting there watching after your season has been a complete mess, right? Internal fighting, right? Going through another trophyless season, going through all of this. And you're not even going to address it. You're not going to address the fact that it's been a poor season. You're not addressing the fact that it's not good enough, that there is drama, more drama coming out of your club than actual footballing stuff, right? You're not addressing this. You choose to overlook it completely to talk about Negreira, talk about VAR, talk about referees. Like, dude, at the end of the day, that's not what the fan wants to hear. The fan wants to hear the president call out his home players, call out his club, call out everybody to know, okay, I'm glad that you said this because now I know we got big plans coming up in the summer. But when you do nothing and you sit there and make all these excuses, everyone's going to be like, okay, man, this guy needs to go because, dude, you're not giving me any answers. I thought you were going to do in this press conference to give me answers, but you're not giving me answers. Just give me excuses. That's not what I want to hear at this point. After the shit season I've seen, you feel me? But that's what it is. That's what it is. But guys, I'm gonna let the rest of it continue on Dave's channel. I don't want to, hijack, and I want you guys to go and check out what he says on his stream. But Dave, let's do the final topic before we do get out of here, because I know you gotta, do your streaming very, very soon. I'll really directly say to you, but let's quickly talk about it, man. Quick breaking news. This came out literally late last night, right? I didn't have a time to record it today, but Julian Alvarez, Dave, right? Apparently, he has made the formal request to leave. He said that he wants to, he wants to leave, and all the points are pointed at him wanting to join Barcelona. It seems that he only wants to join us. And look, a part of me is definitely happy because when you do a transfer request, then all of a sudden now, maybe we might be able to get him on a good deal. I'm not saying we're gonna get him on a cheap. I never said we're gonna get him on a cheap, but I think we'll get him for a good deal for what they could potentially be asking for, because they're asking for like 150, bro. I have not spent 150 on Julian Alvarez, absolutely not. But let me ask you, because you are one of those Madrid fans that can be objective. Let me ask you this: what do you think about this deal? Do you think Barcelona, do you think that Barcelona will sign him in the summer, or do you think that Atletico Madrid are just going to stand on their 2 feet and say no, we're gonna?
He's leaving, mate.
What do you say?
He's leaving.
He's leaving?
Yeah, I think he's leaving. Do you know why? Because Alvarez wants to think more than just playing for Simeone. He doesn't want to feature in that. We've seen many players before go from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona. But the situation is that Alvarez is a player that is very hungry for trophies. You can see that by his mannerisms, everything that he wants on the pitch, everything. If he was in the Champions League final, maybe he would have stayed, maybe. But there's something about Alvarez that just doesn't sit right for me in Atletico Madrid's team. He's much more talented than that as a player. His statistics don't really show it in terms of entirety of the season across all comps. I think he could have done much better in terms of finishing, especially in La Liga. But for me personally, that I think Alvarez is a player that wants to play for a better side, and if Barcelona is there to take that up, and the opportunity to sign him for big bucks, then so be it. If Laporta makes him as a priority signing, fine. But Laporta should think elsewhere also. I think the attack is okay. I think the defence is more of importance. I don't think that Alvarez should be the priority for Barcelona. I think the defence should be the priority for Barcelona, because if they steady that defence, then they could do something. They do need a number 9, I've got to say they do. But it's not the most priority. The defence is the priority for Barcelona, especially when it comes to Hansi Flick's tactics and how he plays. To go for the Champions League, you need to have some defending unit that's amazing in every single competition, and squad depth as well. Like squad depth is not much of a problem for Barcelona, but yeah, Alvarez is good. But are you going to risk spending that much money on Alvarez and then not have the likelihood to sign the defender? That's a problem.
Exactly.
We reached the one-on-one rule now, so I don't see a problem for Barcelona to spend
That's the
big
thing,
bucks.
is we can. I think we can be able to afford to buy him, but like you mentioned, man, if we decide to make him our priority sign, and we spend over 100 plus on him, that's going to become an issue because that means that we're going to miss out on a lot of other signings that we want to make, especially in
Yeah.
defense. And that's why I'm looking at them like, for me, focus on the defense. But bro, I've said this so many times, and I feel like it's not going to happen, babe. I think that at the end of the day, Barcelona are going to prioritize getting a forward first, right? And then when we bring in the forward at some point during the middle of the transfer window, then Barcelona are going to be like, okay, like we'll just scrounge around and try and get a defender. But we'll probably just get one when we need like 3 defenders. You feel me? And the way Hansi Flick, apparently, the way Hansi Flick and the club have been talking, man, they're not feeling with any confidence there. They really are not, because very evident that they're talking about trying to keep Rashford, right? There's a talk that we want to keep Rashford, right? There's a talk that we want to prioritize getting a forward, right? Bastoni now looks like he's like, apparently now Mourinho is interested in bringing in Bastoni. We've kind of cooled off on him. Like, dude, this is not the things I wanted to hear. And genuinely, it worries me. It worries me, Dave. I'm not gonna lie. It really does worry me. But yeah, hey, listen, guys. We will see what happens. Listen, guys. Right now, as far as the news on Alvarez is concerned, guys, it's just they've just started talking about it. We'll be getting new details on it, guys. And make sure you guys click the subscribe here, guys, so that you guys can be notified and updated on any big news that comes out on the Alvarez news, guys. But listen, guys, we're gonna be closing out early. Unfortunately, guys, we're not gonna last too long, guys, because unfortunately, scheduling and stuff. But yeah, man. But guys, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Dave Talks Madrid, Dave Talks Barca. That both of his channels, which you guys can subscribe to both. We're going to be redirecting to him right now, guys, because he's going to be talking about everything Madrid. He's going to be talking about, the elections and Enrique, Lamine, Florentino Perez, all of it, guys. So make sure you guys go check it out, guys, and let me know what you guys think about everything we've talked about. Big up to every single one of you guys. As always, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all of the beautiful stuff.
Peace out, people.